Well, what's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I know it's game day without the Dallas Cowboys, and that sucks. Believe me, I know it sucks. But we're going to still be watching because, hey, it's football. Don't be mad at football because the Dallas Cowboys didn't do enough to be there in the Super Bowl or divisional championship games. Excuse me, conference championship games. There's so much that we missed out. But we'll be live streaming starting at 3:30. I'll be up in here. I'm gonna be cooking some Joe Boo wings, but we're gonna try and do them keto today. That's right, and that's where. Oh, you want to see some? Oh, you want to see some good? See, a lot of y'all think of diet as die it. I'm gonna die from it. That's what you think about it, but not with this keto. Look at this. Just look at this chili. Look. This is a meat chili galore. Look at it. It's got to cook down. But look at that. Oh, man. The flavor that's in this sucker, and it's keto. Mmm. That's some good shit. Get DMB to try it. Not that he needs to be on keto. This skinny ass. He a skinny motherfucker. Anyway. The Dallas Cowboys apparently aren't wasting any time. You know, I kind of said if they were going to get Sean Payton, they need to do it right now. You can't wait right now. I know you guys think that this is the off season, but there's no such thing as an off season anymore in the NFL because the Super Bowl is not for 2 more weeks, the middle of February. March 20th is the beginning of the league year when the teams must be under the salary cap, and the Dallas Cowboys currently sit $21 million over the cap before they did what they announced this morning, that they're going to be restructuring Dak Prescott's contract. Why would you do that? What does that mean? Some of you are probably pissed off because the Cowboys are restructuring his contract. See, they should have never signed him. They should have franchise tagged him and let him walk because he's a bum. We should have traded him for somebody. We should trade him now because he sucks. Okay, those people, feel free to just move on. Just move on because I can't help you. I cannot help you. I cannot reach you because you guys literally are stone-headed. Nothing gets into that head, so I'm not even going to try. But for those who actually want to understand how football works, the Cowboys, by keeping Dan Quinn, by keeping Mike McCarthy, guys who have intimate knowledge with the players that they currently have, are working on a plan right now for how we get over and become one of those teams in the championship games. I can't guarantee that they'll come up with the right answers, but they're working on it now. Signing Dak Prescott or redoing that contract says we're going to go ahead and get the money in place because we have other individuals on this team that we deemed necessary to be successful, and or we're going to need to replace some of the ones that are. We have 21 free agents. You've got guys like Blake Jarwin. You have guys like Randy Gregory, Connor Williams, Michael Gallup, and you can go down the list. Brett Urban, Demontre Kazeez, and J-Ron Curses. Some of these guys, Ty Nsekhe, some of these guys like Ty Nsekhe, you just want to push off a bridge. Some of them, you got to say, we must keep that guy in our fold because if we don't, we're going to have to replace them. And now you're starting all over. Sometimes you can look at a guy and say, well, they didn't perform as good as I wanted them to do, but they'll benefit the next year because they know what you're doing. You follow me? Because now you're bringing in somebody cold. And this is where people always like, change the quarterback. Just bring in somebody else. It doesn't work that way very easily. When you look at some of the quarterbacks out there that have been major bust, for example, it's like every year they get a new offensive coordinator. Every offense may have the basic same plays, but the terminology is different. And when you start listening to what a quarterback has to call in the huddle, he's calling the protection. He's calling where everybody's going to be in that formation. He's calling out the routes and things. That it's really, really complex. And if you get a brain fart and you're thinking about the offensive coordinator from last year and what they're doing, it doesn't necessarily work that good. And the same thing can be said about offensive linemen, defensive linemen, and so on. Getting a guy in there that you can coach up and getting them up to speed takes longer from a cold start versus somebody that's been there. Now, that doesn't account for, of course, having talent. If you got a guy that you know, they can know the system cold, they just don't have the talent, well, that's a different story, and they need to be replaced. But what this says is the Dallas Cowboys, who have less than 2 months to decide who's going to stay and who's going to go, are working on it now. And that, to me, is the best news that I've heard on the Dallas Cowboys off-season completely, that they're getting started now. Now, here's the flip side of it. Had you kind of waited with Sean Payton and letting the dust clear and working out the deal, we would be even further behind, and we cannot afford to be behind at all on this offseason. There's guys we've got to have, and the guys, if we let everybody go, that's 21 spots you have to replace. And believe me, people ain't coming in here for free, and quality people definitely aren't coming in here for nothing. So be happy and thankful in some regard that the Cowboys didn't blow it all up. Think about it. The Giants right now just hired, or haven't hired a new coach yet. Or yeah, they did hire a new coach. Hired a new coach. He's just getting in here now and learning out where everything is, and he's going to start putting together his coaching staff, and he's going to have to go through and start evaluating the players. Is Daniel Jones the guy, or do I need to make a trade for somebody, and so on. So you're ahead of the curve by getting this done earlier. And by all means, I'm sure that Dak's not going to be the only one that gets restructured. If you're going to hold on to Amari Cooper, that may be another person that you end up redoing his contract as well, because if you let him walk, you end up getting about $20 million of cap room, which is great. Or you have that $22 million cap hit. And so you can kind of play with the numbers. And this is the great thing about Dak Prescott's contract. As much as people keep, harping at Skip Bayless, $70 million. Yeah, he actually got $70 million that year, okay, because of the signing bonuses. You can look at how much money he made in comparison to some of the other guys. Yeah. When you think about Kirk Cousins has made about $150 million from Minnesota, that Kirk Cousins, let me put it in perspective. Kirk Cousins, just from the compensation from Minnesota, will make more money than Dak Prescott's contract with the Dallas Cowboys. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. And the reality is he's probably going to get released this year because they just can't afford his contract. The Cowboys were wise enough to put these voidable years in there with these triggers that can offset some of the other cap issues. Dak Prescott in compensation last year was only $17 million, which was 10th in quarterback compensation. Not bad. And even with his contract number before this restructure, I believe he'd be 8th. So he's probably going to be dropping down even further down on the quarterback compensation. I can't wait to see what the numbers look like from it, and we'll definitely have that together. But be sure to tune in about 3 hours, because we'll be going live here with DMV. I'm going to have some keto wings today, and I'm going to have my chili. I can't wait to have this chili. The keto chili is going to have sour cream. It's going to have some raw onions on there. It's going to have cheese, lots of cheese. Just can't have bread. Just can't do the bread. But other than that, shit's good. Peace.